EP42.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Musa. I got my guy Ty and Peso here, and welcome back to another episode of the Pick Six Podcast. Fellas, how y'all doing today?
Yo, what's good?
Doing good.
It's Friday.
Man, it's Friday. Yes, sir. We getting closer and closer to that big opening day for the NFL as well as college football. So this episode here, we're going to be talking about the MAC, the Sun Belt, and the ACC on who we got winning those conferences, the top two teams of those conferences for this upcoming season. And we're going to give you guys our predictions for the AFC West. So before we get into that, man, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on our list and who you got winning each of these conferences for the college football as well as the AFC West. So we're going to start off with college football. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to jump right into the conference predictions. And we're going to start off with the Sun Belt division. I think we're going to start from the bottom and work our way up. So, Peso, I'm going to start with you. Who you have in the Sun Belt division, your top two teams, and who you have winning. So the team at the top of your list will be the team that wins, and the team underneath will be the runner-up.
I think they're gonna pick up where they left off last year. I know Marshall finished with like the highest wins in the conference. I think it was tied with like Louisiana, but Marshall was the highest in the East Division, so I'm gonna go with them.
You got Marshall,
and I think I'm a fan of James Madison too, so I think they're gonna have a little bit of a better year this year than last.
Okay, Marshall and James Madison. I like this. This is already a little bit different from what I have. Some diversity. All right. Ty, who you got?
This conference honestly is my least interesting one. To be honest, yeah. Honestly, I'm just going a shot in the dark. I looked at the recruitings. I looked at the rosters. Honestly, I have Arkansas State over Coastal Carolina.
Okay. Hold on, I'm botching the name right now. SAS. If I spelled that wrong, I'll go back. But I feel like I did that correctly.
Nah, you got it.
And you said Coastal Carolina?
Yeah.
I'll fuck around and go with Georgia State.
Wishful thinking over there. For me, the runner-up team I have is the team that was in the conference championship game last season, and that is Louisiana. The Cajuns. They actually just released their trio set helmets for this upcoming season. Those are kind of fire. So I got them being in the Sun Belt Championship again, but I have them losing to a new team. I love that we all have different teams here. And this team here I have is Texas State. I believe they're going to win the Sun Belt Conference right before they transition out of that Sun Belt division and go to the Pac-12 next season. And I think one of the main reasons why they're going to have the workhorse and Lincoln Perry, I believe that's how you pronounce his last name, upcoming senior, I believe, the running back. He's a dog, man. I don't think he gets talked about enough. I know he tore his ACL a few seasons back, but him coming back healthy, I think he's going to be able to carry the load and help them win that conference. And I think he would be a name that'd be bigger if he was in a different conference, obviously. So that's what I got. Moving forward, we're going to go right into the MAC. So I'm going to start back with Peso. Who you got for the MAC division?
Same thing. I feel like both of the Ohio teams, Ohio and Miami, Ohio. If I probably go with Ohio to win it all again. I I was looking at Bowling Green, but them losing their tight end in the draft this year, I think he was definitely a big heavy hitter for them.
They got Eddie George as a head coach.
Yeah, and looking at all the rest of the teams that's there, I mean, it really ain't shit to work with. So definitely going with them Ohio teams.
So you have Miami, Ohio, and Ohio.
Yeah,
back in it.
I'm picking Ohio over Miami, Ohio, though.
Got you.
I know that probably won't be the case. It's very rare we see back-to-back conference championship games like this, but
For sure. Fair enough. Ty, who you got?
So I got Miami, Ohio winning because I think by far might be, well, not even might. They kind of are the best team in this conference itself. And who I have them beaten, I actually got I guess you'll consider this a surprise or not, given that this is kind of the second worst conference. But I got Northern Illinois.
And now you. Okay. This is their last year in the conference as well, considering they will be moving to the Mountain West in the following season also.
Yep.
So, all right. For me, my team, my sleeper team as a runner-up, I have is Buffalo going to the MAC Conference Championship game. But I have them losing. They have one of the higher recruiting classes in the conference for the upcoming season. So I'm kind of high on them. But the team that have them losing to is Miami, Ohio. I just think they're one of the more powerhouses in this conference, to your point, Peso and Ty. So I believe they're running back and go back-to-back in that conference. And who knows, we might see this team moving out of that conference in the future as well. But yeah, these are the two teams I have, Miami, Ohio versus Buffalo. So moving right along, we're going to go to the ACC. I'll start off here. My runner-up team in the ACC is Florida State University. Surprisingly, but considering the year they had last year,
you think Castellanos is going to do his thing?
I believe he's going to be able to get the job done, especially considering that they still have a lot of their good players coming back. I think he's a much better upgrade than what they had last year at quarterback.
Yeah,
I think he was pretty solid.
That shit was trash. Excuse my language,
but he showed a lot for me with Bill O'Brien at Boston College last year. I think him going to FSU in a bigger role, bigger scene, I think he will be just fine and kind of adapt to that ACC environment. So I believe they'll be a runner-up in the conference. I'm not as high on SMU this year. I know Kevin Jennings is coming back, but I got to see if they can be more composed in those bigger games like they weren't in the game against Penn State. Also, Florida State has a second best recruiting class coming into this upcoming season. While the team I have winning is in the top 5 in recruiting classes, but their returning seniors is just going to be dominant. I think they're going to take over. One of them at quarterbacks, I believe, is going to be in the Heisman race. And the team I'm referring to is Clemson. I have Clemson winning the ACC, and I think they will win comfortably, probably 10 to 15 points against FSU. Obviously, barring any injuries and things that are going on. But Cade at quarterback, I think he's going to be in the Heisman talks. I don't think he'll be a finalist, but he's definitely going to be in the conversation. So the team I have winning the ACC is Clemson Tigers. Ty, who you got?
So I also have the Clemson Tigers winning for every single reason you just said. I think they're too dominant. There's not really much teams I can see competing with them. Miami can, but I don't trust that quarterback over there. And speaking of not trusting that quarterback over there, Miami is not my runner-ups. I'm actually going to go with a big surprise. I'm going with the North Carolina Tar Heels.
Bill Belichick.
He's a winner, but he's going to lose this one, but he's a winner.
Interesting. Okay. I think they did recruit one of the top 5, a 5-star, 4-star offensive lineman. They got a lot of like trenches guys coming in now that Belichick's going in there. So I'm not sure who their quarterback is, but
They got 3 quarterbacks, but my thing is, not counting Clemson, I don't think there's really any superstar kind of, quarterback in that conference. So that's why I think it's anyone's game. It's going to come down to the quarterback play.
Fair enough. Not bad at all. Not a bad pick. I was actually surprised. I was looking at potentially going Duke or Georgia Tech, but Duke losing their quarterback, I forgot his name. But Peso knows him very well because we did our dynasty and I had Duke. And
Malik Murphy?
Yeah, he's going to Oklahoma State. So, or Oregon State, I believe. Oregon State. So, yeah, I'm going to let Peso take it away here.
No, I agree with y'all with Clemson, man. Like y'all was saying, I think they're going to run away. I think they got the most returnees. They're going to be ranked in the top 5. I got Clemson winning it all. And I agree with Ty, just because Bill Belichick is there. And then also looking at North Carolina's schedule, I mean, the only real competition I see on there, of course, they got Clemson. And that's about it to me.
Do they play SMU?
No. We're talking about teams like TCU, Charlotte, Richmond, University of Central Florida, California, Virginia, Syracuse, Stanford, Wake Forest, Duke, and NC State. I mean, I would probably give them
should be some issues.
I would maybe give them about 3-4 losses just because it's Bill Belichick's first year. But I mean, yeah, I think North Carolina's gonna do their thing this year.
Not bad enough. I could see them potentially losing around that many games. Definitely Duke, NC State. I wouldn't snooze on UCF.
I mean that Duke and that's a rival game. So
yeah,
they playing at home. North Carolina's playing at home.
Yeah, that's true, but I like Duke. I think Duke has the better team, but that's going to be a tough game though. So you're not wrong. That schedule does not look.
I could definitely see them starting out at like 4-0 before they see Clemson in October.
Yeah, I think they go 3-1. I believe
they probably lose TCU.
I think they might lose to UCF. I would not snooze on UCF, but definitely at worst they split the 4 games, losing to TCU or UCF. At best they go 4-0 or 3-1. So they're definitely going to lose to Clemson. Yeah, not a bad pick at all. Let me actually type that in now before I forget. So this is our predictions for the ACC, the MAC, and the Sun Belt conferences. Last episode, we did the Big 12 and Mountain West. Big 12 and Mountain West. And then the next episode, we're going to try to bang out the rest of these conferences. So we got the American Conference, Athletic Conference. We got the Big 10, Conference USA. And, of course, we're going to say the best for last, the SEC. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for the next episode. We will be closing out on our predictions for the conferences for college football. Now, we're going to move our focus into the AFC West in the NFL. And we got a lot to talk about. Obviously, TJ Watt got his big contract extension, 3 years, $123 million, and $108 of that $1 million is guaranteed. Also, that's been reported as we went live, is that the Cowboys and Michael Parsons is potentially getting closer to an extension around $45 million a year, which will per year and more than 40 per year. So he's looking to be in that top 5 realm of pass rushers as far as contracts go. So we'll hear you guys' thoughts on this real quick before we get into the divisions. Does this feel like an overpay for these pass rushers? Or you feel like this is right around where they should be getting paid based on what they bring to the table on the field?
Well, we can't. You go.
I love it. We got more than 2 people up here now. We can talk.
No, I wasn't gonna say too much on it. I mean, I think it's just really just the market going up, and that's just what it is. We see that in the NBA, we see that in MLB, and all these sports. I mean, if you're out here doing what you got to do and taking care of business, I mean, I can't hate on the contract. So that's just where the market's going. That's just my opinion.
Ty?
Yeah, I agree to everything Peso's saying. We can't call it a overpay because
Did we lose him?
Might have lost him.
We lost him. Okay.
y'all can
But
hear me now.
Oh yeah, we can hear you now.
All right. So
Back
yeah,
from
we
the
can't.
dead.
So I think we can't call it an overpay now because in a couple of years we're gonna see some ridiculous numbers.
Okay.
And I think like I even saw a tweet today was talking about Aiden Hutchinson, Will Anderson, and Jared Verse just
Oh
looking at
yeah.
these numbers. So
Oh,
if they get in these numbers, what are those three guys about to get?
they might get mid, almost close to 50.
Exactly. I mean, soon
So
we're gonna be seeing these NFL contracts looking like NBA contracts.
Oh no, that would never happen.
Wait until we get in our 40s.
That ain't
just
gonna happen.
it's only gonna be for
Oh,
the
if we get on
quarterbacks.
40s, maybe. But listen, we talk about NFL owners. They ain't not like these NBA owners. That's a whole nother conversation though. So I ain't even gonna go indulge in that festivity. But real quickly, and I think Ty was about to finish up a point. I want to run off these edge rushers, the extensions they have this offseason. I'm looking down to have it on my phone here. TJ Watt now is making $41 million per year, which is $1 million more extra than Myles Garrett, who's making 40. Daniil Hunter is making 35.6, and Max Crosby, compared to these guys, obviously his contract was extended before them. He's at 35.5 mil, which I think he's grossly underpaid compared to what these new guys got. But again, to provide context, his contract essentially came before theirs. Because if it wasn't, I'm pretty sure he'll be in those 40 ranges. Because I think he's one of the top 4 pass rushers in the league outside of Watt, Garrett, and who we're talking about now, Micah Parsons. But do you guys? Well, Ty already mentioned it. If Micah resets this market to like 45 per year, to your point, Ty, Jared Verse, Will Anderson, those guys, they're definitely going to see closer to 45 to 50. So interesting. I just wanted to bring that up because that's kind of interesting to see where the money's going right now.
How old is Jared Verse?
Probably 22, maybe 23. Ty's the person to ask for that.
He's like 23.
He's Mr. Ram.
Damn, he's young.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. His extension isn't gonna come for a while, but by the time it is up, I think he's seeing like 55. Because the problem,
If the production's there, definitely.
yeah, because well, obviously, yeah, as long as he stays at least consistent to what he just did his rookie season, like that's ridiculous.
Absolutely. Also, another thing I want to touch on. Speaking of edge rushers, man, Von Miller signs a contract with the Washington Commanders. Everywhere Vaughn's gone, they have been deep in the playoffs, if not got a Super Bowl outside of Buffalo. But they was pretty damn close. What are you guys' thoughts on Von Miller going to the Commanders, and does this improve the Commanders? Because we know Vaughn's long in the tooth, but I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts on this signing.
I mean, you said it right there. Shit, I seen the breaking news. I'm like, his old ass still in the league. But I mean,
producing still.
Yeah, he's definitely a factor. I mean, why wouldn't he help out Washington? I mean, like they're definitely, if not in the Super Bowl, they're gonna be in the same predicament that they were in last year, in my opinion. So, you bring a veteran presence to that defense. I don't see why it doesn't help them. He's not a liability at all, even at this age. So, shout out to them and the Commanders.
Yeah, he had 6 sacks last season. But yeah, definitely. I'm gonna let Ty go ahead and take it away. What's his thoughts on Vaughn and going to the Commanders?
Yeah, it only comes down to one thing. He just got to be healthy. I like the signing because obviously you know who's the head coach out there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a perfect piece. But the problem, I actually not even the problem. I would say this: it's not. Maybe if this was a couple years ago, Von Miller, I would have been like, "Oh, Commanders to the Super Bowl." It helps them stay pretty much in that top NFC list, but I don't think that move puts them over the Eagles.
Gotcha. Yeah, I agree with everything, all the points you guys made. You guys made some very valid points. I think Von's going to help them, especially because I believe they moved off of Jonathan Allen recently because of the contract situation. Or was it Payne? It was one of the two D tackles that they moved off. I don't remember. But you bring in another pass rusher who can get to the quarterback and help seal the edge while still having one of those D tackles in the middle to collapse the middle. That's going to leave more pressure off of the back end, your DBs, especially with I will say Von Miller, Bobby Wagner in the middle, still being able to play at an elite level when it comes to making the tackles and making the reads and being that leader and that voice in the locker room. So I think that will help. But I am a little concerned still because there's been rumblings about Terry McLaurin possibly not being there, considering the whole contract extension going on. And there's been reports that the Patriots are very interested in potentially landing Terry McLaurin if he's available and for the right price. Which, I'm a Terry McLaurin fan, so if we can get him, yeah, I'm gonna be talking my ish. But regardless of the fact, that makes me concerned for the offense because JD5, man, there's a lot of quarterbacks that have that second year slump, but if you're getting one of his best weapons, I know you got Debo, but Debo's not Terry McLaurin. Like, we're gonna just put that out there from now and leave that as is. So I'm a little concerned about what Washington's doing right now as far as making moves. And then lastly, before we get into the predictions for the AFC West division, Rashid Rice is expected to likely get a multi-game suspension after receiving 5 years probation and 30 days in jail to be served during those 5-year span of his probation, considering the car accident he had on the highway. What is you guys' thoughts on this? Is this a little slight, or I believe he's very lucky to even get what he's getting considering the situation, but just would love to hear your thoughts on the Rashid Rice situation and how that hinders the Chiefs potentially.
Yeah, this is honestly my first time hearing about it because I haven't really been on like paying attention to sports media, news, and all that stuff. But I mean, damn, it's kind of just like a shake of my head. Just do better. Do better.
A lot of these dudes who get these fast cars don't know how to use them, and then
it's just like
get into these unfortunate events.
Do better, man. You got a whole life ahead of you, man. Do better.
Yeah, I think. I mean, we all saw this coming. This happened a while now. We knew it was coming. I think the Chiefs were already prepared for it. I think everyone knew. And only 4 games, the Chiefs probably were expecting something more. So I'm not worried. I'm not worried about the 4 games he's missing. And I don't think the Chiefs are worrying about that 4 games that he's missing. I do because honestly, name what was the last year that we didn't go into the season with some Kansas City wide receiver kind of dilemma? Like, it happens every year. I'm not worried. They're gonna pick up a Trader Joe's bagger, and he's gonna get 400 yards and get picked up by everyone on fantasy after week 1. So I already know what's gonna happen.
Fair enough, man. I agree with all the points you guys made. I need these, especially the black athletes in the NFL, man, particularly NFL. We got to do better. I believe they have to just be smarter and stop putting themselves in these positions where they're not only hurting themselves and their families, but they're costing their teams. So hopefully could be some examples for the up and coming athletes, black or white, to learn from this and not fall in those footsteps. But we're going to transition into the AFC West predictions. And I'm going to start with you, Ty. Who you got at the top of your list with the records and stuff?
Damn, I kind of wanted to go last.
All right. Peso. We'll start with you.
I was kind of doing about it at the same time. As far as winning the division, I'm gonna go. I want to go Chargers, but I'm like looking at the schedule right now. I'm gonna go Chiefs. But I got the Chiefs record being 11-6 by the end of the season.
So you have them winning the division, and the highest wins is 11-6. Oh, I got to hear the rest of this.
11-6.
I got to hear the rest of this. Okay, who you got after the Chiefs?
I'm gonna go to Broncos.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to Raiders because I think Gino.
You got Broncos at second and third, Raiders at 3.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna go Chargers last.
Well, how you want to
Wait,
go?
What's the record? I want to hear the record.
Hold on. There's multiple questions. Hold on. Why do you want to go to? How was you thinking Chargers first, but you got them in last?
No, because I was literally just looking at their schedule, and then I seen the second half of their schedule. I was like, never mind.
So, do you have the records for these 3 teams?
So Chiefs, I got 11-6.
This was my $1 million question. What's the records for the rest of these?
I had the Raiders at 8-9. I didn't get through the Broncos and the Chargers yet. I'm still looking at their schedules.
Okay, so let me put this on the screen for people to see. Raiders, he got 8-9. Chiefs, 11-6, and as of now, he has the Broncos.
Yo, low key, I got the Chiefs losing their first game against the Chargers. Then I got them losing to Philly. They're gonna beat New York.
I think they get back on Philly.
They're gonna actually no, yeah, I did have them winning against Philly, so they're gonna end up being because what is it, Chargers first? So I got them
losing my list to make sure. No, never mind. I had them losing to the Eagles.
I got them losing to San Diego, beating Philly, beating the Giants, and then losing to Baltimore. So 2-2 their first 4.
Interesting. I know you don't have it now, but we definitely gonna need the records for the Broncos and Chargers because I'm not opposed to the 11-6. Now, Ty might say otherwise, but it's that if that's the top of the division being 11-6, I know the division is going to be a lot better than it was last year. I got to hear the rest of this, but the title is No Fly Zone 2.0, so just a little hint as how good this division can be, with how good the Broncos is going to be. I believe they will be this upcoming season.
The Chargers schedule is really things start to shake up because you got Philly, the Chiefs, the Cowboys, the Texans, and the Broncos, like the last 5-6 games. So I could see them losing all those in a row.
Okay. Ty, what's your thoughts on this list?
I don't know. I think this is the second best division in the AFC. I think it's gonna be way competitive, way more competitive than he's making it seem like. Because would you got the Broncos then?
I'm saying I'm looking now because I'm thinking that they might have a close record to the Chiefs. I'm looking at their schedule now.
See, that I could get behind, but I think it would be kind of better than 11-6 in my opinion.
Because to be honest, I don't mean to cut you off, Ty. To be honest, they got the Bengals, the Eagles. I see them probably potentially losing those 2. You got the Chiefs twice, of course. They got the Commanders, so maybe a game less, if not tied for the same record. They got the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Not worried about the Cowboys at all. And the Jets, I think, is going to give them some competition. So their schedule don't look that bad. If I had to give them a record, it would be like 12-5, maybe if not the same, 11-6.
I was there. If they're 12-5, then they win in the division. But and that's based on what you have, obviously, on the screen. Okay, I know Ty said he wanted to go last, so
it's all right.
I'll be W ho.
Nah, because Peso kind of low key segue into it because I got the Chiefs and the Broncos tying at 12-5, top of the division.
12-5, and then Broncos 12-5. All right, let me show this. Okay.
Then I think there's a little gap. I got the Raiders 9-8, and I got the Chargers 8-9.
See, I'm not too far off.
Boy, okay. I'm gonna keep my comments to when I go.
I'm gonna tell you why. Especially, I'll start with the Chargers. They had one job: get a better wide receiver room, and they did zero.
Speaking of that, Mike Williams retired.
Exactly. So if you're gonna convince me that Keenan Allen's gonna come back and have this stellar season, okay, I guess.
Ain't he in Chicago?
Nah, he's a free agent.
Keenan Allen?
Yeah, he's a free agent. They only had the Chicago didn't resign him.
That's crazy. Hey, Baltimore. Since I want to get all these old ass receivers anyway.
Nah, he can't go to Baltimore.
He can't. If he had to go to anywhere, Washington, considering the whole rumbling with Terry McLaurin, if they don't get that situated. But I wouldn't want him in Washington, actually. I don't know. I got to sleep on that.
Yeah.
But,
then okay. the Raiders.
Gino.
I want to be so high on the Raiders, but the problem is I still don't trust their defense outside of Max Crosby.
Mm-hmm. So I was waiting for one of y'all to bring that up. That's why I was surprised.
So that's the problem. But the offense, I think, is going to be spectacular. So I think they will finish 9-8. I think they'll probably be fighting for that last playoff seed. But I don't think they can compete with the Broncos and the Chiefs, to be honest.
Okay. So with this time, with the Broncos and Chiefs at 12-5,
I got them split in their games. That's the problem.
Okay, so then they go. So in that case, they probably go by either division record, or they go by point differential.
Exactly. Then we have to predict every other team. So right now they're finishing tied, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is the year the Chiefs don't win the division. And it's not to worry, because I think even if they don't win the division, they can still go back to the AFC Championship game. No problem.
Fair enough.
Because they will still have a high record. They'll play the worst division winner, which always comes out of the AFC South. They can beat the Texans again. That's nothing. Then whoever has the 1 seed, Chiefs don't care about the 1 seed. So
not at all.
Tell you that.
All right. Well, that segues into me going, and I'm you know what, Ty? I appreciate you going, because it kind of, the way you just finished up your thought process kind of segue into mine. And I'm starting from the bottom, and I'm going to reveal and then explain. My bottom of the list, the Raiders.
Whoa.
I have them going 7-10 or 6-11. They're the worst team in this division, I believe. And it's mainly because of their defense. Now I know their defense and the Chargers defense, it ain't much of a difference. But the difference between their record and the Chargers is basically their schedule. So the teams I have the Raiders losing to, I got them losing to the Patriots. I got them losing to the Chargers at least once. They're going to lose to the Commanders. I think they get swept by Denver and Kansas City. And that's tough. Kansas City one was tough for me, because typically the Raiders, since Pat's been there, have had a history of giving them a little bit more trouble. But Gino's not. I don't think Gino's going to be what he was in Seattle, even though they have Pete Carroll as the head coach. I'm not saying he's going to have a complete drop-off, but I don't think he's going to be the same. They still haven't showed up that wide receiver room. I know they got Brock Bowers, but I mean, he's not going to be able to save everything. Hopefully, if Genty plans out, then that's obviously going to help a lot more for Brock Bowers. But the defense is my biggest question mark, and they can never stay healthy at that. So with all that being said, they lose to the Patriots, Chargers, Commanders, Chiefs twice, Denver twice, Philly, Texans, Bears. And the reason why I have 6 or 11 because I'm torn between the game with Cleveland with the Vegas Raiders because I don't know who that quarterback's going to be. And that's late. That game's later in the middle of the year, I believe it was. I have to double check. So that game could go either way. This is why I said maybe 7-10 or 6-11. But I don't think that's a bad spot for them, considering how good this draft can potentially be at the top when it comes to positions, not quarterbacks, but position players. So that's why I got the Raiders.
How do y'all think Gentry is gonna do this year?
Amazing.
I want to say really good, but I don't know about that O-line. So that's my question. The O-line is my biggest question with them. And I got to see how they utilize him. I think he's going to do really well because I think he's going to be utilized in the passing game a lot more than he was in Boise State last season. And that's going to open up a lot more for Brock Bowers. So I can see why you guys say 8-9 wins. I think 9 is their ceiling, but I don't see no more than that.
And I was gonna say, like to your point there, that's why I gave him about 8-9 wins because of Pete Carroll over there. I feel like he's gonna utilize him, and not like that Marshawn Lynch role. And I think Gentry is like, even though he's a rookie, I just think he has that game to be able to just fit right into the pros and not really like it's not going to look like he's a rookie. Basically, is what I'm trying to say.
No, that's a good point. Moving right on. Oh, and also before to your point, since they haven't really bolstered up the receiver room like we was hoping they did, Jacoby Myers, I expect to have a breakout year considering Pete Carroll and how he likes to scheme up the offense. And I forgot who the OC is, but it's not Josh Daniels. I know that for a fact. So yeah, that's why I have the Raiders. Next team I have the reveal. Chargers. I got the Chargers 9-8. Defense and the receiving room. That's my biggest concern. I like Lab McConkey. I still don't think he's a number 1 receiver, though. I think he'd be better as a 2 or maybe in the slot, but he's going to put up numbers, I believe. And I think Najee Harris should be ready to go for them once he's take care of the eye situation he had. But I have them losing to the Chiefs twice, Broncos, Raiders, Giants, because it's at New York. That's one of the reasons why. And them West Coast teams, especially the Chargers, they don't like playing in cold weather. So that's 5 losses. Steelers, Philly, and Houston. So that's the 8 losses I have for the Chargers moving forward. I do like the new uniforms though. Beautiful. Especially the dark navy blue with the lightning bolt fire. So shout out to those boys. Next, I have no fly zone 2.0. The making of them, I should say. I have the Broncos at 12-5 as well. And this is kind of a surprise, but the reason why is because I'm so high on that defense. I think the defense is going to be able to carry them through the year. I think Bo Nix is going to have some improvement from last year as a passer, but I don't think he's going to be asked to do as much with the arm as he did last year, along with his legs and mobility. The run game is going to be good. They got one of the better O-lines when it comes to running the ball in the league. And I think they have a solid receiving group. Solid, not the best, but with all that being said, I think this is a more defense-savvy team, and they go 12-5. The losses I have for them are the Houston, the Chargers, the Chiefs twice, and Philly. Those are the 5 losses I have for them. And, of course, the team I have winning the division as of now will be the Chiefs. I think they go 14-3, y'all. I don't know why, but somehow, some way, they're going to find a way to get the job done. And, yes, they're an older team, but that defense is going to be the calling card, I believe. The only 3 losses I have the Chiefs having is the Ravens, the Bills, and the Eagles. Outside of that, I think they win every other game. Now, for me, this would be their ceiling for the regular season. If they were to lose some games they weren't supposed to, I say at worst they go 12-5 or maybe 11-6.
I think they lose at least a division game.
I think they split definitely with the Broncos. Then
That's what I'm saying. I think
with the Raiders. That's why I got them at 12-5
for sure. So even if they was to lose to, if they split with the Broncos, they'd be 13-4. So that's what I'm saying. Like I expect the ceiling. I'm gonna give you guys the ceiling grade for based on me looking at the schedule. Obviously, there's some games and teams that they lose to they're not supposed to. I also was taking into fact where they're going to be at during the end of this year, where they might just bench their starters like they did at the end of last year, and they lose a game that they really wouldn't have probably lost if they played their starters. So I was taking that into account also. So I gave you guys my ceiling record. I believe if that was the case, at worst they'd go 11 or 12 wins. So.
Yo, I just realized Clips had the Pats at 6-11.
Yeah,
I wonder what teams. Oh man, I need to hear that. I need to.
Yeah, man. He didn't. I didn't get Clips' list for today. He didn't get to me in time.
I feel like he was falling asleep at his desk making this list.
But I will say, well, for his AFC East list, he gave me that right before he had to dip out. So, but he did take some time looking over it. So, but I'll let him explain his list when we get him on the show next time. So, this is the list. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, and that is gonna be the show. We're gonna wrap up a little earlier today because we got Friday. We got some things we gotta take care of, getting stuff ready for the next episodes for the Grade A show, Pick Six, and Grade A Wrestling. So if you guys are watching, make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on our list. Who you got winning the AFC West? Is 14-3 a stretch for the Chiefs? Is 11-6 too low for the Chiefs? And is the Raiders actually going to win more than 7-6 games? Let us know all in the comment section. And have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend, a safe weekend. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.
Grade A.